So when we refer to intellectual property rights in context of print learning material, so here let us have, okay, let me take your understanding of what is your understanding of intellectual property rights quickly. What is intellectual property? Any one of you? What is your understanding of intellectual property? Intellect, it refers to the power of the mind or creation of the mind, we can say, that's it, or we can say idea. And when we refer to property, it refers generally to something that can be traded, that is that can be bought or sold, or we can say which has a commercial value. And when we combine these two words, we have the term intellectual property. It refers to the ideas and creation of the mind having commercial value. And when we add the third word to it, it refers to intellectual property rights. It refers to the legal rights associated with the intellectual property. For example, I would say, I will start with one example. For example, a person is very good in arts. If he, suppose, sitting on the bench in the class, a student creates a cartoon character of, let us say, Amardev. From the perspective of classroom management, we may say that it is an act of indiscipline. But from the perspective of creativity and innovation, it is an act of creative expression, and it can be subject of any other perspective of subject matter of IP. It may be converted into an industrial design, or it may be a subject matter of copyright, or it may be subject of matter of any other form of IP like trademark. That's it. So when why we needed IP and IPRs? IP and IPRs were needed to provide recognition and reward for original effort. Means the person who created the work, he or she shall get the name that that person is the creator. And also, if some monetary incentive is associated with that work, with trading of that work, then the part of that reward shall also go to the original effort, who is the original creator. And also, second objective of significance, or why IP and IPRs are needed, are to provide for protection of original effort and preventing its misuse through legal mechanism. For example, you created something and some other person is using it, and they are not using for the purpose with which you intended, you created that creation. That's a product or service. That's it. So if you do not have ownership over it, you can't stop anyone. But if you have ownership, then by virtue of that, you can control, or not only control, I would say that is the wrong preposition. Means you can direct how that creation shall be rightfully used. That's it. There are certain parameters upon which intellectual property, Bauddhik Sammata, and conventional or physical property are similar to each other. First one is monetary or commercial value. Property is referred to as property if it has monetary or commercial value. Tradable value means people shall be ready to pay in cash or in return, uh, in trading form, in any trading instrument form, about your property. If documentation, whenever we say we wish to get a registration of vehicle done in our name, we go to we have the registration certificate of the vehicle. For getting the RC, we have to fill certain application forms. For getting the property registered in our name, like land, we have to go to the Tehsil office. We have to pay the different fees, associated fees, and get the registration of the land done in our name. So means we have to fill up the application form again. Third, government issuing agency that is legally authorized. That's it. Government is controlling the controlling how that property is entrusted to the rightful, I would say, owners or users. Property description is there. It is a land. It is written what is the dimension, what is east, west, north, south, what is on the left, what is on the right. That's it. In the same way, ownership of the property, name of the owner is important. Why? For the trade to happen, ownership is important. For example, if I stole something very important maybe a projector from an institution, and I go to market to sell that, would the seller buyer buy it? That he may or may not, because it may be a FIR lost, that it is a stolen product. Later on, you will be into the problem. Who is the buyer? So ownership of the property is there for the trade to be effective. Time duration of the ownership in case of physical property in India, especially in case of land acquisition and all, that's it. It may be indefinite, but in case of now we have a constructed flat system, towers, independent villas, they are leased. In most other countries, it is in the form of lease. So same way, intellectual property, each different form has its own time duration, associated time duration, and fee. Whenever you wish to get your property registered under a particular uh, form or mechanism, through a particular mechanism, there is a corresponding fee associated with the same. There are certain parameters upon which intellectual property and conventional or physical property are different from each other. What are those parameters? That's it. Attributes comparison parameters. Column 1 lists the attribute upon which we can compare IP and physical property, upon which they are different. First one is types. So as per all these rights are territorial, means they follow the law of the country, land, we can say. If we have to get protect our intellectual property in US, then US legal provisions will apply. Japan legal provisions will apply. In the same way, for our country, that is India, there are 8 well-defined forms of IP, in which 7 are direct, one is indirect. If we wish to get our intellectual property creation protected or interested in our name, it can be done through 7 plus 1, 8 different mechanisms. Physical property, it can be different types exceeding 8. I say as many elements as there are in periodic table, there can be as many as forms of physical property which may be possible, or more than that. Valuation in case of intellectual property, not easy. That's it. For example, you created some product. You may be considering that it is not that much worth, but it may be having a worth of more than 100 crores, 200 crores, 300 crores. Uh, Physical property, it is comparatively easy based upon the location, based upon the time duration, based upon the occupation of the people associated with that property in a particular geographical setup, the valuation of the property and the condition of the property, the valuation of the property can be ascertained. Theft in case of intellectual property, not at all difficult. You discuss your invention idea with anyone. Second person is more well versed than you. He immediately goes and files a patent, copyright, trademark in his or her name. That's it. You lose your right over it if you are unable to prove that it belongs to you. But in case of physical property, it is not easy. Even if it gets stolen, there are chances that it may be found back, and the wrongdoers may get punishment. The effect of time on value usually decreases and in many cases ends with time in case of intellectual property. But in case of physical property, it increases or decreases according to the type of property. What does I say? I say in case of physical property, it is like supply demand concept. If the product or that uh, service or goods are more in supply than the demand, then its value is going to decrease. That's it. But uh, if demand is going to be more and supply is going to be less, automatically its value is going to up. Like potable drinking water, or maybe housing for all in coming days. Like population is increasing exponentially, so everyone will need a housing. So no doubt its price is going to increase. But in case of intellectual property, it may decrease. It generally decreases, and in many cases ends with time also as the time passes. What are the mechanisms for protection of IP as per the Indian system? Patents, copyrights, trademarks, industrial design, layout design for integrated circuits, geographical indication, protection of new plant varieties, trade secrets. So here, all these are independent, are corresponding to independent acts passed by the parliament. When we refer to patent, it means the corresponding detail is available in the Patents Act, Copyright Act, Trademark Act, Industrial Design Act. So that's it. It is so. Trade secret is not directly enforced in India, but in the countries like US, uh, it is it is provisioned directly as an independent form of IP. Uh, when we refer to patent, quick glimpse through, you must be aware of, maybe through my sessions earlier also, otherwise also quick glimpse through. A patent is an exclusive right granted by the government to the original inventor, developer, researcher of an invention which prohibits from others from making, using, or selling that invention. Copyrights are a set of exclusive rights granted by the law to the creators and producers of forms of creative expression such as literary, musical, and cinematographic works. A trademark is a word or a symbol adopted and used by a manufacturer or a merchant to identify his goods and distinguish them from those manufactured and sold by others. And fourth one is industrial design. It refers to specific shape, configuration, surface, pattern, color combination, color or combination thereof, which produces an aesthetic impression of the article. That's it. And when we refer to layout design of integrated circuits, it refers to it refers to it refers to the specific manner in which transistors and other circuitry elements of an IC are laid out in a semiconductor IC and includes lead wires connecting such elements. Geographical indications. Geographical indications of goods are defined as that aspect of intellectual property which relate to goods or products originating from a particular geographical region situated in a particular country. Protection of new plant varieties. We have plant breeders' right also. It refers to the legal rights as granted by the government for protection of plant varieties, rights of farmers and plant breeders. Trade secrets. It refers to proprietary information having commercial application and value. Now, before immediately moving to the today's theme, core soul of the today's session. So, in context of print learning material, copyrights are the pertinent one. So, and Section 13 of the Copyright Act 1957, with due consideration to the latest amendments, provides for work in which copyrights subsist. Illustratively, the subsection 1 of Section 13 of the Copyright Act gives, subject to the provisions of this section and the other provisions of this Act, copyright shall subsist throughout India in the following classes of work, that is to say, original literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works. That's it. It may subsist in cinematographic films, or it may subsist in form of sound recordings. That's it. Section 2O of the Copyright Act 1957, with due consideration to the latest amendment, gives literary definition of literary work. What is the definition of literary work? Literary work, since it is more important for us as being academicians, literary work includes computer programs. Thank you. It includes computer programs, tables, and compilations, including computer databases. This definition is an inclusive definition and there are not exhaustive one. A dissertation, since it includes tables and compilations, is therefore prima facie a literary work. तो किसी भी MTech और PhD work का आपका कोई thesis है, since it contains tables and compilations also, so it is a work of prima facie a literary work. A thing written or printed, such as books on various subjects, novels, drama, you write couplets, poetry, your anthological works, critic, excerpts with comments, etc., are examples of literary work. Here we have to understand what does we refer to the term original. Here the word original doesn't mean that the work must be the expression of original or invented thought. That's it. So copyright acts are not concerned with the origin of ideas. because that is the subject matter of patent, that it shall be novel, new to the world. But copyright is concerned with the expression of the thoughts in case of literary, and in case of literary work with the expression of thoughts in print or in writing. तो अगर वो लिटरेरी वर्क है तो आपका प्रिंट और राइटिंग में उसका एक्सप्रेशन जो है वो आपका ओरिजिनल होना चाहिए. कैसे? The originality requires relates to the thoughts expression. Further, the act doesn't require that the expression must be in a novel or an original form, but that the work must not be copied one from another work. That is, it should originate from the author. Which what I wish to say कि अगर मैंने एक फोटोग्राफ क्लिक कर दिया है तो उसका कॉपी दूसरा पर्सन करके ये नहीं कह सकता कि ये मैंने बनाया, बट वो नई फोटो जरूर खींच सकता है. That's it. So this is what copyright means. So coming to the next important explanation in this context, an exhibition of a film in a television through videotape in which the cinematographic film is recorded will be the subject matter of copyright protection. A VCR, which is used for playing pre-recorded cassettes of movies, similarly will also be subject matter of copyright protection. In respect of cinematographic films, the word original is missing in the section. In a film, a particular actor can't claim any copyrights and hence the actor's performance is not copyrighted. अगर मान लो एक प्ले है, किसी ने प्ले लिखा है तो प्ले तो प्रोटेक्ट होगा ऑथर का, बट मैं उसके प्ले पे परफॉर्म कर रहा हूँ और मैं कहूँ कि मेरी परफॉर्मेंस के लिए मेरे को कॉपीराइट दिया जाए, वो नहीं मिल सकता. In other words, a sign artist in a film doesn't have a copyright protection. Now comes to the another important parameter that shall be explained in this context is ownership of copyright and rights of the owner. The author of a work shall be the first owner of the copyright therein, but conforming to the section 17 and the clauses and subclauses, if any, therein. Now comes to the term of copyright. The section 22 of the Copyright Act 1957, with due consideration to the latest amendments, provides for the term of copyright in published literary, dramatical, musical, and artistic works. What does it say? Except as otherwise hereinafter provided, copyright shall subsist in any literary, dramatic, musical, or artistic work published within the lifetime of the author until 60 years from the beginning of the calendar year next following the year in which the author dies. For example, if I am the creator of a work, so if I die from the start of the 1st January of the next calendar year till 60 years, that protection subsists with the original author. And also, explanation in this section, the reference to the author shall, in case of a work of joint authorship, be construed as a reference to the author who dies last. अगर 2 या 3 बंदे बुक लिखते हैं, लिटरेरी वर्क इकट्ठा करते हैं, तो जो जब लास्ट पर्सन की डेथ होती है, उसके डेट ऑफ डेथ के साथ जो कैलेंडर ईयर शुरू हो रहा है नेक्स्ट इमीडिएटली फॉलोइंग, वहां से 60 साल तक जो प्रोटेक्शन है वो ओरिजिनल ऑथर्स के साथ ही रहेगी. अगर ऑथर का डेथ हो गया तो नॉमिनी जो होंगे तो उसका जो भी एग्रीमेंट के तहत रॉयल्टी और एनी अदर पे बैक बनता है वो उनके नॉमिनीज को आता रहेगा. So we acknowledge the work of various authors, organizations and institutions available from secondary sources. Further, it is advised to refer to the learning resources listed in the e-content for this session for a more comprehensive understanding of the theme covered in this presentation. And also, thank you. So why I have given this disclaimer? So I made this presentation as a part when MOOCs was being developed by Professor Dr. Sunil Dutt from Education and Educational Management Department on development of self-learning material. So a role was assigned to me to develop one I would say component of the same in context of copyrights. this presentation was for that. But I am delivering this presentation over here because this is for the creating awareness and public good, and it is not for money earning purpose. Yes. So this was the basic presentation which I wish to cover. My question to you is, that's it. When you teach in your class, that's it. When you teach in your class, do you use presentations? Do you use presentations? Please respond. When you teach in your class, do you use presentations?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Vijay sir, thank you. Thank you for responding. So I'm feeling that we are getting the live energy. Good. So how do you make your presentation? How do you make a presentation? Uh, Either you download from the web or you make it on your own. That's it. How do you prepare for your presentation for your session?
सर बोथ द वे सर, हम खुद भी बनाते हैं और डाउनलोड भी करते हैं.
Great, good, very good. So what happens? I wish to highlight. We no doubt we all of us are using Google. We are using all the different resources, websites, work script, and others also. I do not say anything wrong in that. But whenever say we say creation of the work, there are two parts to it. One is ethical perspective. One is legal perspective. So, for example, if someone has created some chart or some content, when I have to disseminate that knowledge in my class, I do not wish to prove to my student that I am the original owner. I am the original owner of that work, because I do not wish to prove anything to my student. I just wish to bring that concept into the class. But the person who created that work shall get the acknowledgement. So, for example, I will share you very simple thing to do that is, we are not checking the going to check plagiarism check. Plagiarism check is for research papers, and in that different journals allow for different similarity indexes. That if it is, it shall be with five words less than 5%, 10%, 15%, 25%, up to 25%, it is acceptable. But in a classroom presentation, even if it is 100% similar, nobody is going to challenge you. Nobody even is going to check you. But legally and morally, it is your responsibility that the original creator of the work gets the acknowledgement. How we can do it? Very simple. Very simple. Just let me show you how I do it. So this is one presentation I made. Earlier I also used to do the mistake, but this is one presentation I made for teaching in, let us say, my MTech class. Just what I can do now: technology forecasting I have to teach, technology planning, forecasting, and forecasting methods. That's it. So simple thing I have to do. I do not have to come up with a new definition of technology planning. I wish to just explain what different authors have proposed. And I'm referring the Tariq Khalil. Khalil is the one of the person who has worked a very done a pioneer work in context of technology management, and that is a prescribed book also. Let us say. So I have to just put the inverted comma. 100% I am taking that content definition from that book, and just I have to do the in-text citation. Khalil, comma 2000, in the year 2000 that publication has been done, comma page number 251, on which that page, that definition I have taken from exactly. Now strategizing versus planning, that's it. So here I have not put the inverted comma because this table has been created by me. This expression doesn't is not was not has not been copied as such from the book, but content is from Khalil. Even then, I have not put the inverted comma, but I have referred the original author because it is the work from which his work I have created this table. Khalil, comma 2000, comma page dot 251. So just we have to do this. Just we have to do this, and at the end, what we have to do is, at the end, you have to refer it in the references. with proper citation and index format. Like I have used APA referencing style, American Psychological Association, that is being normally well accepted norm in context of management teaching. So Khalil, comma Tariq, surname, comma first name, comma middle space middle name, dot year of publication in italic, the title of the work book, that's a place where it has been published, and colon the name of the publishing house. It is just a simple work. It is a simple work. And doing this, what I have done, I have not I have not violated the intellectual property. At the same time, I have given the due acknowledgement to the original creator of that content. That's it. I do not wish to say that I have given the definition of planning. It is already given. I wish to teach and with my examples discuss in the classroom. That's it. So my question is to everyone: is it doable? Yes or no? Is it doable? By following simple one method, we can create acknowledgement to the person, and even creating the acknowledgement, if someone wish to search, they may go for Google reviews and other thing, they may buy his or her book also, and when they buy a book, he will get some royalty also, and it will add to his selling of his book also. One attempt, positive attempt of yours, creates a ripple effect that has impact overall about that creation, particular creation. Now you say, uh, this is a very simple thing. One I have shared with you. You say, सर हमें तो बहुत सी पीपीटीज बनानी पड़ती है, हमारे पास टाइम बहुत कम होता है, तो व्हाट आई हैव डन इज आई हैव स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड इट. अब मैंने अपने केस में क्या किया है, इसको स्टैंडर्डाइज कर दिया. मैंने स्टैंडर्डाइज क्या कर दिया कि चाहे मैं बुक की बजाय कई बार हमें इंटरनेट सोर्सेज से डेटा लेना होता है, जैसे तो लेटेस्ट इंफॉर्मेशन लेना होता है. तो व्हाट आई हैव डन इज आई हैव क्रिएटेड माय ओन फॉर्मेट. मैंने फॉर्मेट कैसे किया कि क्या क्या मेरे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. मैं पहले ओवरऑल सेशन टाइटल लूंगा, फिर मैं ओवरऑल सेशन टाइटल लिख के उसके अंदर मैं कौन सा कंटेंट रेफर कर रहा हूँ. मैं डिलीट दिस एंड ऐड सीरियल नंबर हियर 1 2 और 3. मैं सीरियल नंबर डालूंगा, फिर डालूंगा एक्सेस्ड ऑन डेट on which you have accessed that data, and then delete this and paste web link here from which web link I have accessed that data, and उसके बाद उस पब्लिशिंग ग्रुप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का क्या नाम है जिसकी वेबसाइट से मैंने डेटा लिया. इज देयर एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बैकिंग इट अप. delete this and add publishing group organization etc name here, and delete this and add the content title here. अब कंटेंट का क्या टाइटल है जो जिसको मैं पिक कर रहा हूँ. एंड डिलीट दिस एंड ऐड कंटेंट राइटर इफ आइडेंटिफाइबल है. तो मेरे को कंटेंट राइटर को आइडेंटिफाई करना है. अगर राइटर नहीं है तो वो वेब सोर्स ही रहेगा उसका ऑप्शन. एंड उसके बाद मेरे को डिलीट दिस एंड ऐड द आइडेंटिफाइबल डेट फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट और बॉडी और एंड ऑफ द कंटेंट. तो मेरे को एक डेट निकालना है कि वो मेरे को क्या आइडेंटिफाइबल है उस पेपर वर्क से कि वो कब पब्लिश हुआ. जैसे वो कहाँ मिल सकता है. मेरे को कंटेंट के स्टार्ट में मिल सकता है, मिडिल में, बॉडी में मिल सकता है, या टुवर्ड्स द एंड मिल सकता है. इफ डेट इज नॉट आइडेंटिफाइबल देन ऐड द ईयर फ्रॉम द वेब पेज कॉपीराइट ईयर. अगर मेरे को डेट ट्रेस ही नहीं हो पा रही तो जिस ईयर का कॉपीराइट है उस वेबसाइट का नीचे रहता है कॉपीराइट 2021 22 23, तो उस ईयर को ऐड करना. Once you have done it, then you make and you write the content in your own language. This information is created. Once it is created, once I make a master document, and then I have one sample presentation over here. And in sample presentation, what I have done, I've taken different type of contents. So like significance of teaming. So this is Harvard Business HBS Business School Working Knowledge 2012. Strategic Teams, NCBO Know-How 2017. Developing a Meaningful Strategy, CMOEA 21. So I've done it. And last May, what I have done is using a proper referencing format. I have acknowledged all. That's it. So statistics, 2000 New Zealand, 2007. That's it. It is a data from the government of New Zealand. This is publication by HBS Working Knowledge. That's it. And this is the article on our web page. That's it. So this is how it is there. So once your presentation is there, it will be a completely cited and carrying the references and links to those, and automatically you are not, I am not violating the legal and ethical rights of the creator. That's it. That's it. So this is my suggestion to you. That's it. How you can go about creating your presentations. That's it. And one more thing I would like to uh, share with you is, like, I follow this like APA referencing style. So it mentions how in-text citation has to be there. If you have to take a content from another author, how you have to cite it in the body of the content you are creating. So if it is exactly you are copying, you have to put into inverted comma. If you start with the surname of the authors, original creators, you have to mention in the bracket year of publication, and towards the end page number also. Or it can be, you can start directly with the content you are taking as such in inverted commas, and then you can mention the surname of the authors, comma, or year of publication, comma, page number, this way also. But if, for example, I have rewritten into my own language, maybe passive language, or using a conjunction combining different statements, even then, if I have taken base idea from someone, I have to in the bracket mention the original authors. But page number is not required in this. But you have to mention the authors. That's it. And if I am taking a work from, let us say, B source, and B source has taken the work from A, so I have access of B, so I have to acknowledge both A and B. This is A, original author, as Hall 1977 asserts in inverted comma, exact definition, and as cited in Sambor and Coder 1997 P14. So this content is as such taken from B, that is as cited in Sambor and Coder. But we have to acknowledge the A also, because author A is the original contributor. It is not like if I have read this Sambor and Coder B paper, and B has referred A, and in my work I only highlight B. I have to trace from the references from the B. We have to trace the paper of A, work of A also, and we have to mention that A in my references also, and in text citation, in text writing also, A shall be referred to. And how in references you have to type the reference list. You book with one author, it is formats are given over here. In text citation, how you can do it is also given. Book with 2 to 5 authors, book or report by a corporate author, book chapter in edited books, conference paper online, if it is a course handout or lecture note, if it is a film, if it is a journal article, if it is a journal article, academic scholarly electronic version, this is with documents online identity, journal article academic scholarly electronic version with no DOI, journal article academic scholarly print version, journal article academic scholarly internet only, no print version, magazine article, popular trade journal interest, it is a newspaper article print version, it is a newspaper article database like any news channel, e-channel, newspaper article with no author, if it is a letter, telephone conversation, emails, interviews you wish to report, if it is a thesis, print version, if it is a thesis, institutional or a from personal web page, or if it is a web page. That's it. It is there. So it is how it has one referencing style. you can follow. You can use different IEEE referencing style or any other style also, but I, for my work, follow this APA referencing style. So this was as if now what I wish to share from my side. Like many a times we make speeches. You make speeches for your uh, HOD, for your directors, principals, VCs. Original work is your copyright. That's it. No doubt. Delivery may be by anyone. But if you have created very good attendance format, very good chart that can be displayed in the lab, that is your copyright. And another important thing in context of copyright is the moment you created it, the copyright automatically, implicitly is with you, even if you do not file. But why it is recommended we file the copyright? Because it gives you more evidentiary value in court of law. अगर कल को कोई कॉपी करता है तो आप प्रूव कर सकते हो कि ये मेरा था और ये किसी ने गलत यूज किया है, यू कैन स्यू इट, एंड उसमें आपका इम्प्रिजनमेंट से लेके फाइन तक भी प्रोविजन। अगर कोई आपके वर्क को अन नॉन लीगल वे से कॉपी करता है और यूटिलाइज करता है, बस। So this was all from my side. Any questions from your side? Any questions from your side? There shall be at least 2-3 questions. That's it. But basic presentations, examples I have shared from my side. I have shared with you a brief overview of IPR. What is the significance of copyright? What is the significance of copyright in context of development of self-learning material? And then I have shared with you how you can go for creating your classroom presentations, duly acknowledging the original work author, and what is the referencing styles that can be used and how to use it. How can you make your database inventory for your rough work, from where you can finalize your presentations. ओके, सर ने एक बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछा है, रविराज जैन सर ने. सो एट टाइम्स फॉर रिसर्च presentations we google does it come under copyright? For example, अब इसको थोड़ा सा मैं और रिफाइन करता हूँ. गूगल इज जस्ट एन इंटीग्रेटर. गूगल doesn't share. Now it says that content may be subject matter of copyright. Warning the issue. Google is an integrator. You Google it out, and वो आपके सामने आ गया. But it may be the copyright of somebody else. That's it. So googling it out and referencing that source as Google is not the right acknowledgement. And if you Google it out and use your presentations, this is a very wrong thing. You may be subject of legal proceedings. Some original author, if he or she found that you are using it unethically, they may sue you into court of law. That's it. So it is a. What about Chat GPT for writing paper? When we say to Chat GPT, that's it. I again shared two things when we say about content creation. One is legal. One is what is ethical and moral. If you use Chat GPT, no doubt. If you go for checking through similarity index, it will be not. It will be showing that it is having zero similarity index. But nowadays those Turnitin and other plagiarism checker softwares are also upgrading. They mention that this is AI generated content, and they will not slowly allow to accept those contents. That's it. So if you use ChatGPT as a tool, for example, I give my photograph which I have clicked, and I say improvise upon it. Then I say this is the judicial rightful use. But if I say bring me this photo, means मैं Google से एक फोटो उठाता हूँ, improvise it. So this is something wrong. So legally you may not be wrong, but morally you are wrong. That's it. So ChatGPT about writing paper, I have already addressed. Slowly and slowly, these softwares are also upgrading themselves. They will mention it as this is AI generated content, and the reviewers for different journals are not going to accept such contents. That's it. But no doubt, having said this, there is a war. There are two different mindset people in the world. One set of people, group of people says that everything shall be open. It shall be disseminated free of cost. But another group of people says no. Intellectual creation is also your intellectual property of an individual. It shall be respected and judicially protected and used in rightful manner. Creators shall get the benefit. And in now in present scenarios where we are moving more towards, I would say, online content creation and online AI technological resources, no doubt, trade will also happen based upon intellectual property. That's it. So ways and means will evolve, and through this, the people will exchange money. That's it. Because if everything is being done by machines, no labor is required in a production plant. How the intellectual will trade? So I'm sure this intellectual property is going to evolve as a very lucrative domain in the upcoming decades. That's it. For example, I will share another example. When I developed the self-learning material, for that, I have shown the presentation what I have delivered before you. Let me show you a self-learning material also for that, what I delivered. So I am sharing that which was checked with the plagiarism check. So see this. So this is module 8 on self-learning material IPR copyright. So word count 2008-14, character count 14,653. So this is there, है ना? So just write, see to it. I have created this content. So if you see, I do not wish to pitch that this is my work. I have inserted examples from my side also, but I have referred one book. So everywhere I have cited this, but here it is not in inverted comma because I have translated the content into my own language, whole content, but still mentioned their name. And if you see to it, now quickly I'm going through this content, and if I go towards the end, so what does it say? Let us go to the results of this plagiarism checker. Similarity index is 5%, internet sources 3%, publication 3%, student papers 0%. So something like it, है ना? And they have highlighted the links also. And exclude matches less than 10 words, है ना? 10 words or more. So what I wish to say to you is that's it. So even if similarity index is 5%, that's it. That's it. I may have dropped their name of the original contributors, but I didn't drop it because I do not wish to prove to anyone that that what in copyright I am going to teach or share as a resource material belongs to me. What I wish to highlight, this material I have created with my effort, duly acknowledging the original author. So this is the live example I have shared. How? And this is without ChatGPT. So what happened if I would have used ChatGPT? No doubt I will not say we shall not use, but not where I wish to seek acknowledgement. I wish to make my name. That's it. So ChatGPT can be used for journal purposes. But if I wish to create a niche for me, why I am delivering this session in front of you? Because I have proven to my organization that I follow those practices in context of IP. In the same way, I get the opportunity to deliver the session on IP on different platforms. Next week, this coming Saturday, I have an invite from Quantum University. I will be going over there, delivering a session on new product opportunity identification for new product and process development for sustainability in context of social sustainable innovations. And I will be delivering a session with professor and heads of different organizations, one scientist, and one professor and head of one department of IIT Roorkee. But I'm engineer Amardev Singh, assistant professor. But I will be on the same platform with a professor. Why? Because you are working rightfully, improving day by day on in your area, in your niche. But if I deliver a chat GPT content over here, will you respect me or will I be able to create a niche? No. And it is though due to some reasons I have to surrender my PhD, I have to start afresh. मैं दोबारा शुरू करूँगा. But I know the process how it is to be done. I know what is creative writing, how what is rightful writing. That's it. And further I can improve myself. So when I will deliver a session of over there, they will pay me money, some on medium. So then on medium also. So you are getting the rightful money also for the learning you are delivering to someone. That's it. Okay, thank you. I hope I have answered. I have tried to address from the different dimensions uh, uh, how what is the importance of being rightfully acknowledging other person's work and creating your own work simultaneously also and moving forward respectfully in the academician's journey, being an academic. Yes. Okay. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Please feel free to ask any question. That's it. If no questions, then I take this opportunity to thank everyone over here, all the participants that you spare time out of your valuable schedule and for being with us. That's it. I thank Professor Dr. Watts for giving me an opportunity to interact with you all. That's it. And I thank especially Kamal for making all the technical and other arrangements for connecting me with the mentors of the future of the country that are the students. And thank you one and all.